One of the big headlines for May is transformation. And I mean deep, internal, cellular transformation. Hello, happy May 2023. I am Zaia, back for your May Oracle report. May is in the middle of eclipse season. In April, we just had our first eclipse of the eclipse season. And I know for me personally, eclipse season tends to be pretty transformational. And it is for a lot of people. There's a lot of energy being stirred up, being moved through. And although I don't personally practice astrology, it's not a lens that I've studied, that I look through, but I experience it, as we all do. Since May is in this very transformational time of eclipse season, it's important to remember that there is a lot happening beneath the surface, and there are things that you could not plan for that will be coming in or out of your life. But one of the big headlines for May is transformation. And I mean deep, internal, cellular transformation. There are parts of our soul signature, that must come online in order to fulfill the next leg of our soul missions. There's new missions coming in right now. And for some of us, that may have been happening for a while. For others, you may start feeling it now. For others, if you've been feeling it, things might start to really click in May, because we've been doing the deep internal work of transformation. But I'm seeing in May some threads of high frequency energy that parts of your soul knows how to run. You know how to embody that. You know how to bring that through your vessel, your channel, to express it. But some of those soul fragments that can carry these high frequencies are not integrated in your being. They're still somewhat separate. They're still fragmented. So tangibly, that could mean a trauma from childhood or a trauma from your past life. This is a lot of past life stuff right now, from a soul level, not a human level, but from a soul level, where something happened and you didn't fully process it. So that aspect of your soul fled the scene, disembodied, disassociated, didn't fully process whatever that emotion or energy or trauma was. And now we're being asked to call in these soul fragments and reintegrate them in our bodies and allow that aspect of ourselves to come online. Because that aspect of yourself has certain gifts, certain skills, certain abilities that are needed now. And it can feel like a light switch turning on overnight. Like, oh, this is on now. Oh, I am hearing things differently. Or, oh, I'm seeing things differently. Or, whoa, the way that I channel is really changing or upgrading. You might be experiencing like fatigue and ascension symptoms because of all the internal work that's happening. But remember, this has happened cellularly and it's happening on a DNA level. So there's parts of you that are coming online. And for some of us, that's going to also mean processing old emotions. And you might not know what the story is. You might not know what it relates to, but you don't have to. This is not a time to access or to pursue our healing from the mind. This is a time to pursue our healing and our ascension through the body. So if a pattern is happening in your life and you're like, what does this mean? What is it showing me? What's the root of it? You're coming from the mind. You're trying to see it. You're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to logic your way through it. And that's just not going to work here. We just need to feel it and move it through the body so that the next time that pattern shows up, we can respond differently. Because whatever's showing up in your life right now, if it feels like a pattern or like a repeating thing, the way that you break that is to respond differently to it. Because whatever is happening in your life right now is a physical manifestation of your past energetic. Whatever your energetic set point was before is now showing itself in physical reality. So, without making it mean anything, can you take whatever's showing up in your life, whatever pattern, whatever repeating type of cycle that you're sensing or noticing in your life, and rather than make it mean something or try to find the meaning, get out of meaning, get out of the mind, and simply feel it. Come back into your power, ground your energy, and then consciously choose how you respond to it. Because if you unconsciously respond, you're just repeating the cycle. And you're not learning the lesson, you're not breaking it. You're just looping in it. And it needs to be broken, it needs to be rewritten for you to move forward. So the way to do that, again, is to respond differently. If you respond from a higher energetic frequency, if you respond from more consciousness, more presence, more awareness, if you respond from an open heart, grounded in your power, then you're going to have a different outcome as you respond to this pattern. And then it'll automatically be rewritten because you are creating a new experience of it in real time. So now this is your energetic set point. Now you are facing the exact same thing, but from a higher frequency, from a higher energetic set point, which will result in a different future. So the way that you respond right now is planting seeds for your future. So that's something to be aware of. Again, there's a lot of big internal shifts happening. Grief, there's a lot of grief moving. Grief is held in the lungs. The lung meridian, I believe, goes up through the lungs, through the clavicle, kind of down the arm. And I've been moving that in myself. I have close friends and actually clients as well who've been kind of moving this deep, deep, deep grief. And a lot of this is past lifetime. It may have also showed up in your childhood. I'm sure you could pinpoint something in your life, maybe, maybe not, but it's not the root of it. And ultimately, that's not quite as relevant. We just need to get it through the body and to clear it. And in doing so, as we release that emotional density, we create more space in the body for these higher frequencies to come in to the body. And as these higher frequencies come into the body, our gifts come online. The puzzle pieces drop in. We don't have all of the information yet, but information will be starting to drop in, but we have to create the space to receive it. So we're really being asked to heal our trauma response, because as we heal our trauma response, we're no longer living our life as trauma leading. Because if we're living from a trauma response, we get triggered and we're in fight, flight, freeze, fawn. We are continuing to live from that trauma state, which will continue to create more trauma or perpetuate the cycle, perpetuate the loop. So we are really being shown under magnifying glass right now where we are not whole within ourselves, where we are not in our sovereignty, where we are not in our power, where we are deferring decisions to other people or to other voices or to something other than our pure sovereign divine truth. And in that way, we're deferring responsibility. And this is where we're being asked to take our power back and trust the wave that you came on. Trust the wave of the momentum in your life. If you're feeling time pressure right now, like I don't have all the pieces, but I need them and I need to know what all the steps are, now is the time to really ground in your intuitive knowing and take intuitive action before it makes logical sense. That's how you align with the energetic wave. Because if you're surfing in the ocean and there's a huge wave coming, oftentimes you need to paddle to get out there so you can properly ride the wave. Otherwise, if you just sit there and the wave is coming and you don't paddle out to catch it, it might crash right on you. And so a lot of us right now feel this time pressure or time sensitivity, like, man, the time is now. This is being called forward now. I need to do this now. Things are happening. Things need to happen now, but I don't have all the pieces, so I don't really know how. If you ground your power and take intuitive action before it makes logical sense, that's enough of the action that is required to paddle out to the wave. As long as you're following your intuitive guidance and taking action as it comes in, that is the equivalent of you paddling out to the wave. If this is your wave, if this is your momentum, if this is your wave to catch, you will catch it. And it will come and you will ride it, and whatever else needs to come in along the way to keep you standing on that board to ride it, it's going to be there. And we have to trust that. But some of us are trying to stand up on the board before the wave is here. You're going to fall over. There's not enough momentum to carry you forward. Some of us are paddling, but like the momentum isn't there and the wave isn't there. So you're really just getting tired at sea. Just getting tired. So then once the wave does come, you don't have the strength or the stamina to paddle out, catch it, and ride it. So you have to trust your timing right now. If you are feeling that surge of momentum and that you feel the wave coming, you see it in the distance, you're like, okay, I don't know exactly what this is or exactly how it's gonna work, but I know I need to start paddling to this wave so I can catch it and ride it in. Do that. If you don't feel the wave, then look at where you're paddling for no reason. Look at where you are wasting energy simply because you don't feel safe waiting for your wave. You don't feel safe just resting on your board in the ocean waiting for the wave to come. Remember, the wave coming is like divine timing. You don't time the wave. It comes when it's ready. It comes in divine time. It comes in the natural cycles of the ebb and flow of the ocean. The ocean is the collective consciousness. The ocean is us. So we need to wait for that wave to come so we can catch it. And if we're paddling out prematurely, desperately looking for this wave to catch, you're just exhausting yourself. And that's probably a pattern of working for production to feel safe, to feel valuable. I have to be in a state of production and doing and going and moving. But if there's no reason to do that, and you really just need to be in an internal space of internal transformation and deep cellular healing and restructuring and DNA activation as these energies come in, well, then that is that rest and replenish type of work. Just lay on your board and let yourself float for a little bit. Let this stuff move within you so that when you do feel the wave, you can paddle out and catch it. So the message here is to trust divine timing and trust your wave. And the more that we can be quiet and hear the voice of the divine, hear the voice of our soul. And if we don't hear anything, maybe we just need to be in silence. Maybe there's nothing to hear right now. Maybe the void is where you need to be for a moment. without the pressure of getting through the void to get on the other side. Just be in it. Because again, there's a lot restructuring and moving here. And we need this to happen to have the strength, the stamina, and the tools to do what is next for us, to ride the next wave. But know that things are happening behind the scenes, beneath the surface, that are preparing this wave for you. You don't have to create the wave. You don't need to manifest the wave. The wave will come when the wave comes. All you need to do is align with it and trust that process. So notice if you're comparing, they're riding their wave right now and I'm not. Well, you have different waves. That's fine. If you try to catch someone else's wave, that's going to take you in a different direction. And then you're going to have to paddle back to the part of the ocean that you were at for your wave to come. We all have a unique role here. And if you're watching this, listening to this, you likely feel resonance with the concept of soul purpose, of mission, of divine mission, of being a divine being in a human body here for a reason. And remember, soul purpose is not just doing, it's a state of being. If you can be and radiate the highest possible frequency, that is your purpose. From that, any action will become clear. If you're tuning into yourself as a fully integrated divine human being with a clear, open channel, you will get instructions and you will follow them. So let the internal processes happen. We're also breaking a lot of chains right now. We talked about patterns a little bit ago. We're breaking ancestral chains right now. And that can feel really confronting. In Mastermind, we're healing our maternal line, specifically liberating our voice through the maternal line. And I see this happening collectively right now. The voice of the mothers, the voice of the grandmothers, the voice of the divine feminine, the voice of the feminine Christ. Mother's Day is in May. There's this big healing of the maternal line and any stories, any traumas, any suppression that has taken place throughout your maternal line. It's time to break the chains now. So that's another specific example of these patterns coming up to be broken and rewritten and to come from a different energetic set point. Because it's really a choice. It's a choice. As soon as you become aware that there's a pattern or there's an ancestral thing happening, that awareness grants you choice. Now you have the choice to act differently, to respond differently, to do something differently, so you no longer repeat the cycle and you liberate yourself from it. May is a time to do that. When I look at the emotional body of kind of the collective for the month of May, I'm seeing oil and water, like two substances that don't mix. And so when I look at that in the context of our emotions, it looks like some of us are holding emotions that are of different vibrational frequencies, as if they're conflicting or contradictory. For example, holding love and fear around the same topic at the same time. And you might really feel the love, but you also really feel the fear. And that love can't fully sink in or express through you because it doesn't mesh with the fear. And so it's showing where there's still some emotional energy that needs to be released for these higher frequency emotions to really permeate your body. May feels really significant related to embodiment. Like, we so often just try to do things through the mind. We want to see it. We want to understand it. We want to know what we're healing. We want to see the next steps. We want to make sense of it. But this is an invitation to move it through the body. And you might, so if you feel love, for example, but you don't feel like it's fully landing in you. You don't feel like you can access it all the time. You feel like there's a deeper love that you can experience, but you're not. The invitation is to tune into your emotional body and tune into the kind of the oil in the water. If the water is love, tune into that. Where do you see it or sense it or feel it in your body, in your energy field? And then where do you not feel it? Then you tune into the oil. Where do you feel the oil, whatever it can't mix with? And then go there in your body. Do an embodiment practice. If you feel like, love is the example we're using. Maybe I feel love here, but I don't feel it like here in my solar plexus. So maybe I'm breathing love from my heart and I'm breathing it through my body and it feels stuck here. And so I just kind of let my breath and my body open and help my body to open in that place where it feels tense, maybe tapping, maybe stretching, maybe toning. Like letting breath and vibration move through your body, really deepening the relationship with the body so that your own energy can permeate your body more, so that you can land more deeply and more firmly in your body. And in doing so, you can ground a lot more. Y'all, these frequencies coming in, they have the potential to short circuit our systems. That's why we need a lot of rest. That's why we need so much grounding, so much grounding. Lay on the earth. Let your body come into harmony and resonance with the frequency of the earth. Hear the birds, hear the sounds of nature. This does things to your brain and to your nervous system that helps settle it. And it helps you land more fully in your body. And it's from this place that whatever is coming in can come in. So, okay, what I'm seeing is for a lot of people, the mental body is way projected in the future. And the physical body is a bit neglected. And because there's so much of our focus and our attention on the future, we're not fully in our body. We're segmented. We're fragmented. And so we're not even in our full integrity within our channel to be able to receive information, to be able to feel our feelings. I feel like a lot of us we feel emotional tension, but we're not fully accessing the emotions. Like, how do I get there? How do I tap into it? Well, you've got to bring your mental body back into the present. Because there's a big separation right now, and that's making it hard to access your inner world. And so I'm seeing a mental reboot. Like a lot of us need a brain reboot. Like a computer. I keep my computer on with 1,000,000 tabs open in several different windows pretty much all the time. Because I'm visual and I don't want to forget it and I don't want to lose it or whatever. And then my computer goes really slow and I get frustrated and I'm like, okay, because we have to shut it down. We have to restart it. We have to let it reboot. And I do, and then everything is good and then everything runs efficiently and quickly. And we do that with our brains. We leave all of these mental tabs open and then wonder why we're not fully present or we're not fully accessing our feelings or we're not fully getting the divine guidance or the inspiration, and we feel tired, we feel drained. It's like, well, check in. How many mental tabs do you have open? How much of your mind is focused and aware and present in the present moment? Give it a reboot. Shut it down. And I would do that every night before bed. I try to make it a habit to do that before bed and shut down my mental tabs, turn off the brain, ask God, ask the divine, my highest healing teams for any upgrades or healing that I want facilitated in my sleep. If there's anything I want figured out, ask before bed. If there is anything that I want resolved that is kind of keeping these mental tabs open, I shut it down and give it to God, give it to the divine, say, please handle this in my sleep. I'm rebooting. And I highly encourage y'all to do that. I encourage me to do that. It's really, really helpful. Because then from that place, as we bring our mind and our mental body back into the present and we let it reboot, then we can let the heart be our primary operating system and our mind be our secondary operating system. And that is right relation. That is how we can be in integrity in our channel as a divine human and move through the path of least resistance. Our mind gets in the way so often, and we really want to make it a habit to lead from the heart first and the mind second. The heart, the intuition, the feeling, the gut, versus the logical, rational mind that contains our programming. Partners, collaborators, teammates. I'm seeing a lot of this click in May, like chance encounters, or you're unaware of people that have been spreading your name or referring to you or talking you up outside of your awareness, behind the scenes. It's like you don't even know what's been happening on your behalf, but there's things weaving on your behalf. And in May, I'm seeing some people start to come into our lives that click certain things into place. And in this way, for those of us who have this big wave coming and we feel it's happening, it's gonna happen fast. Because as these pieces come in, everything begins to crystallize, and before we know it, the wave is here, we're standing up on our board, and we are riding that wave. And it can feel fast and exhilarating. It's gonna be a quantum leap for a lot of people. And that can be both exciting and scary. I think of it like Hawaii, like the pro surfers, like they train for those big waves. If you don't catch that wave right, it can crash all over you, and it's an explosion of force. Even if you want so badly to be on purpose, in your power, if you don't trust it, if you don't trust people, that's gonna be shown, so that you can rewrite it, so that you can break the pattern, so that you can respond to it from a different energy, from a different mentality, from a different perspective, from a different energetic set point. So we're going to see where we lack trust. We're going to see where we are operating from hyper independence. We are going to see where we're operating from just our human and not our divine, or where we're operating just from the divine and not through the human. We're getting all the visions and all the ideas, but we're not doing anything about it. We are going to see this disconnect under a magnifying glass, because our divine human integrated is like our 2 feet firmly on the surfboard riding the wave. You need both feet on the board. You need both feet on the board. It's a big wave. You've got to bend your knees, get into your legs, solidify your foundation so you can ride this big wave of momentum and let it carry you forward. But if you are not planted in your 2 feet, if you are not rooted in your human, if you are not grounded in the earth, if you are not stabilized, that wave could really feel tumultuous. So ground. What else? Anything else for the month of May 2023 Oracle Report? There's a lot of energy moving. This started in April and I see it continuing into May. Energy clearing between the heart and throat so that we can more fully express. Anywhere that our voice has been suppressed, our expression has been expressed or suppressed. There's a lot of energetic clearing around that now. We've been doing that in Mastermind, but I see that carrying into May as well. And as that portion of our channel, of our center line, begins to clear, then we're able to root down more, down into our lower centers. A lot of us need a sacral outlet. Our sacral chakra is creativity, it's relation to other, it's sex, it's passion, it's life force. And a lot of us need an outlet for that energy, whether like this primal expression, because wherever we shame or suppress or make taboo our primal nature is sacred. Our primal nature is a part of our human. It simply needs to also be connected with our divine. It needs to be connected to the heart. So as we clear the throat and the heart and the energy between the throat and heart, between your feeling and your expression, as we heal that and open up that expression, it allows us to root deeper and start to really access that primal force within our sacral chakra. So for some of us, like twerk, go twerk, get in your hips, roll your hips, connect to your period blood, connect to your primal desire, connect to the non-pretty aspects of yourself, the moaning, the groaning, the animalistic nature, even burping, farting, like the parts of us that are just primal animalistic. There's a reckoning within us to be able to honor those parts as sacred so that they're not caged up. Because for some of us, that's a bottleneck in our full expression, is not only the throat and expressing our truth from the heart, but it's also accessing this deeper, more primal, primordial self that hasn't felt safe or hasn't been able to fully come through. And so May feels like a really significant time for that type of primal expression as well. And that is going to play a big role in these soul fragments being able to integrate, these soul gifts being able to come online. Because any part of ourselves that lies dormant holds dormant power. And that dormant power can be used to fuel what it is that you're here to be and create in the world. And so a lot of that dormant power is in our primal self. And so that is really asking to be liberated right now. I believe that is complete for now. The most recent live channeling call in the Oracle Collective membership for April was desires, decisions, and destiny. It is so relevant right now, and it's a really good perspective on how to align our desires and our decisions to align with our destiny. So the link is below if you want to join the Oracle Collective and have that masterclass or live channeling call, as well as all of the other ones. In the collective, you also get access to the Living Library, which is over 100 guided healings, activations, rituals, embodiment practices to really facilitate your daily spiritual practices, to be your go-to place to anchor your divine human, to receive intuitive insight, to master your energy and your frequency so you can align with your soul's highest path. This is meant to be your go-to space for a morning practice, an evening practice, a guided healing when something comes up for you. It's divine guidance on demand with an app on your phone, and it also comes with the live channeling calls. So if you would like to join us, I would so love to have you. Definitely check it out at the link below. Happy May 2023. Happy spring. And y'all, let's ride these waves. Anchor in, let the wave come. Take intuitive action to paddle out to the wave before you understand it, before you know it. You will be hopping up on the board, letting it carry you forward, and life will look different. We are going on a ride. It's a big one. It's a fun one. And we've trained for this. We're ready for this. We are on the leading edge for a reason. We are on the leading edge of the collective consciousness and awakening and healing and evolution for a reason. So if you are doing things that you don't really see done before, if you are stepping into things that you're like, fuck, this is like so different, or I didn't see this coming, you're exactly where you're meant to be. I love you. Talk to you soon. See you next time. Bye.